Hey New You Life family, I'm Rachel McKinley, the social media manager, and today we have Danielle Conolly with us. And you go by Danielle Marie sometimes, is that right?
Yes, online on our Facebook platform and Be the Best You. That's what I go under, Danielle Marie.
And you have a really strong online presence. Everyone is always buzzing about your workout classes. They're talking about what you're doing and everything like that. And you also once were featured on a radio talk show, is that correct?
Yes, just recently our local TV station. I was able to share my testimonial with them and just put out the good word in what great things we're doing here at New Life.
Yeah. So that is so exciting because that's when you know you're making waves, and that's what we're all about here at New Life. So that is so exciting. Awesome. Well, I have heard from you in different situations, and I've heard from other people, you have this amazing backstory. And we've been talking here at UConn all about this 2-minute story. What's your 2-minute story? If you had to pitch your life in 2 minutes and get someone to get on the gel, what would you say to them? So I want to hear, I mean, it doesn't have to be 2 minutes. It could be as long as you want. But I want to hear all about that story and that backstory and everything.
Sure, and to be honest with you, it's going to be a challenge for me to try to put into 2 minutes because it's such a complex story, and you know, it is what it is, and I can't change that. And I feel like it's important to include all of the important moments that led up to the point in my life where I was like, I don't want to say I want to give up, but I was not me.
Yeah.
You know, I was struggling mentally, I was struggling physically, and I really needed something to come into my life to help change that, and I lost hope for a long time. And so back up a little bit, I'm going to try to make this real quick, you know. Growing up, I was always in athletics. I had a competitive gymnast, and I had a lot of injuries. You know, you're practicing all the time. You learn self-discipline and structure, and you're going. And I'm thankful for that because it helped carry me through what was to come. Like I said, I had those injuries and so forth, but then I had to stop my gymnastics career at 14 and a half. And at 16, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I went through chemotherapy, which changed me physiologically from head to toe. It changed everything. And I ended up having a unilateral hysterectomy, which means one of my ovaries was removed. And it changed me hormonally. Everything was just off from that point on. And we tried different methods like birth control, and nothing would work for years and years. So I just said, okay, this is just how it is. All right, just like in the gym, you plug through and just talk it up and keep going. So I said, okay, kept going. And then 4 years later, at 20 years old, I had fallen and I herniated 4 discs in my back, 2 on my neck and 2 on my thoracic back, and ended up with permanent nerve damage.
Wow.
It's called RSD, and then I was also diagnosed with fibromyalgia as well. It's a permanent nerve damage. So it's 24/7. You're getting a constant pain signal being sent to your brain. And I was on pain medication and a ton of different pain medication and so forth. And I ended up having a subcutaneous spinal cord stimulator put in my back. And for those of you, anybody who doesn't know that, I know it sounds like a big fancy word, right? But basically what it is it's these 2 electrodes that were around up my back, and I had a battery implanted. And this was done at Jefferson Neuroscience in Philadelphia at the time. Nobody in the United States had it done. Mm-hmm. So I was actually the guinea pig back then as well for this. Yeah. And we had a success. I had 18 total surgeries for my back. And at that time, I was also blessed with 3 biological children. And you keep going. But, you know, I kept going, and I lost track of myself at the same time.
Yeah.
Because when you're hurting physically, you know, it's every day. It gets to you mentally too. And yes, you can be strong and disciplined, and you push yourself through. However, that's what's on the outside. You feel like you're getting through because I'm putting on the smile on the outside to everybody out there, and you know, you're just being strong. But then internally, you almost feel like you're like a shell of yourself. And so, you know, you kept going, and then this was about 6 years ago, I ended up having a radical hysterectomy because I had continuous problems, with polycystic ovarian syndrome and other issues. So my oncological gynecologist said, okay, enough's enough. You're not having any more children. You're blessed with that. Let's just take care of you so that you can stick around. And so we did, and had a radical hysterectomy and no hormone replacement following. You're 36, you'll be fine, you're young, you don't need hormones. And I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great. I'm not gonna be moody, It was the worst experience because I was immediately thrown into menopause. I was like, what is going on? Like hot flashes, bed soaked wet, and just from like the sweating at night, my hair started falling out, started thinning. My skin, it looked like I aged like 30 years. Like within like months, it just started, it was horrible. And I was like, to be honest with you, I was like, oh well, it is what it is. I kind of just gave up, I kept going, but internally I was just like, we didn't know anything. I didn't know about anything out there. And so that was it. And then a couple months later, after that happened, the ball just kept rolling, and I ended up having a house fire. Yep, had a house fire.
Can't catch a break.
No, it was like one thing after the next. But when you go through that, it's just you figure out you just got to keep going. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You can't dwell on the negative because you're just going to be saturated in the negative, and you just got to keep going forward. So that's what I did. Had the house fire, and I was at the same time going through a divorce. And, custody battle and all that. And I was also going through the process of adopting my son at the time as a single mother. And, that was a lot. It was a lot emotionally. And I'm going to be very real. I was going through those motions, but I was down here. Like mentally, I was like down there. And I needed to start over. I was like, okay, you lost yourself. You lost the house, everything you worked for, everything you identified with is now like just gone. I was like, okay. I just said, all right, let's go. Let's pack it up. And we're moving to Florida. And it was literally within a month of me moving here, I crossed paths with a gel. And I was like, it's all natural. I don't want anything toxic in my body because of my history with cancer and so forth. Health is really important to me. I said, let's go, let's give it a try. And it was the turning point in my life. It was a pivotal moment in my life because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting better sleep. All of a sudden my body started waking up. And for anyone who goes a period of time without, hormones running through their body and experience that, and all of a sudden you have this hormone starting to be produced naturally by yourself again. It's like, I'm alive. I'm alive. You feel like, and then once you feel like, oh my gosh, this is starting to feel alive again. And then it triggers here. And it's like, yeah, you're still going, Danielle. I know I'm over my 2-minute mark, and I'm so sorry.
No, I did. It's not how that was an example. It really didn't have to be 2 minutes.
I have to work really hard at this 2 minutes and condense this. But I feel like it's so important to explain everything because it just shows the magnitude of what the gel can do for someone. It not only helps them mentally, it helps with the mood, it helps with sleep, it helps with their whole physiological being. I can now move, and I couldn't do that for years. I mean, I was going through years and years of pain management clinics and surgeries, and yeah, they helped to an extent, but now it's like I found me again. I found the best version of me again. And I actually found a better version of me, to be honest with you. I found it better because I went so long in my life where it was always something. It was always, we all have uphill battles, right? But it was just always a battle.
Yeah,
uphill.
Constantly fighting.
It was a constant
outside
battle.
factors and yourself.
Yes, all together. So I don't really remember a time. I remember moments that were like, okay, this is a great moment. However, there was no period, like a plateau period where it was like, okay, this was a great moment. You're at your best, in your 20s here or in your 30s here. I did not have that. So now I'm like, wow, you have found the best version of yourself now, and I am never going back. And it only gets better. It only gets better, and I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful.
That is truly one of the most amazing stories. I'm like shocked every time I hear it. I'm like, because I heard it a couple days ago too, and I was like, what? And I'm hearing it again, and I'm like, it's just crazy every time. So I want to ask you, where are you now? Because you just described someone who was in a dark place, someone who had like you just didn't feel like you were yourself, little connection with yourself. And so where are you now? How do you feel? I know you just talked about it a little bit, but I want to hear more about like, what are you doing now these days, thanks to
Oh my goodness! I have my own personal training business and health and fitness business. I'm actively out there again, physically working one-on-one with my clients, and I am out there promoting the gel every opportunity possible because I firmly believe that this is a life-changing product that needs to be in the hands of anyone and everyone who is, number one, aging. You're over 20 years old, and I don't care if you're like in sports or whatnot. Those sports injuries, they catch up to you. All of a sudden, you're like, "Ooh, I get out of bed," and you feel like you have like rocks under your feet, and things are clicking and stuff. Guess what? It all catches up to you. But if you can be like proactive, and so that's my mission, is to share that with everybody and get them to realize, hey, take care of yourself now before it catches up with you. Don't do what I did, because I found something that can change your life. I went through the hard stuff. I want to save you from that. Trust in me, trust in the process, and have faith that it's going to work out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actively out there. I feel I'm physically moving. I feel like I am. My body is just moving on one now. You know what I mean? I felt before like my mind was moving at a different pace and a different place than my body. And now it's all simultaneous. It's all in harmony. It's homeostasis. It's all about balance and homeostasis. And I've learned through all of my experiences that it's about balance. And it does not matter if it's your body that's in balance, if it's your work life that's in balance, what you eat and put in your body, that needs to be balanced. If anything's off, it's just like a domino effect. It throws everything off. Mm-hmm. So to me, this is just, everything in my life right now is in balance. Yeah, things happen, but you know what? I have the right mindset now, and I feel amazing where I can just conquer it. So.
Yeah. And that is so amazing that you came out of that place and you're here and you're present, and you said you're a better version of yourself, and that's truly what's important. So I want to ask you one last question before we finish up. But I want to ask you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'm absolutely going to be a Diamond Ambassador for this company. My plan is to not only do that, but I want to help this company grow to even bigger platforms, to where we can offer like fitness and nutrition and just really help people. So you have like a one-stop shop, so we can help you with your hormones, we can help you with your brain health, we can help you with a fitness program, we can help you with nutrition, we can help you with everything. And that's my goal, is just to grow that. And with New Life, without New Life, outside of New Life as well, wherever I have to do this, that's what I'm going to be doing.
I love it.
It's about just helping other people just find themselves and feel at their best.
Yeah.
I love be the best you. I love the BBU, and it's my passion. It's, even if I get nothing in return from that, other than people smiling, that to me means everything. Mm-hmm. Because when people are down, when people are struggling, they're not going to come out and say, I'm over here, come help me, or like when people say to you, oh, if you need anything, just let me know. Nobody's going to call you if you're not feeling there. You need to reach out. You need to put yourself out there and extend that hand. And that's what I want to continue doing. And I want to work with people who are in line with that as well, and just help as many people as possible.
It's true, and I love it. It's all about that community, and that's
Absolutely.
why we've created resources like Be the Best You, Be the Best Leader, to help people connect and help people feel like they can reach out and to feel like they are supported. And that's part of what New You Life is all about.
Absolutely. I would not be here if it was not for that. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that we crossed paths.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in it, and we're on a mission.
It's going to be amazing. Well, thank you so much, Danielle. It was
Absolutely.
such a wonderful pleasure to talk to
Absolutely.
you. That's all, everyone. See you later. Bye.